show. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks, to the importance of Carr and Minchey. Not Carr or Minchey. There's a big, big difference. Let's get into it. Edition of the Always Irish Show. As always, thanks for being here. You can find a program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Yanni Boy out as well. Notifications on it way you don't miss nothing. Twitter, search bar Always Irish or at Always Irish Shake. Emails alwaysIrishND@gmail.com. Don't want to see my face. Go to the audio only. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I don't. You got to do what you got to do, especially in the summer. Get a break from John's face. Call-in lines. They're popping even in the offseason. The Notre Dame Thoughts 365, baby. If you're living this life, if you're really about this Notre Dame life, the thoughts don't stop in the offseason. Dial it up, 312-900-8815. Tell Uncle Johnny all the football you've heard and seen, or whatever pops into your mind. It just doesn't rhyme as easy as the other stuff. Notre Dame Fighting Irish brought to you by SI. Read all about it, patreon.com/ He's the former captain. He's the leading tackler. It's Mike Goolsby and myself breaking it all down. Oh, stretch our legs in the offseason. It's really fun, man. In the season, you have literally day-to-day obligations on content on YouTube and Patreon. Everything is so structured with games in a few days and another game. Everything's got to fit quick. Not in the summer. So we're able to stretch our legs, have a little more relaxed fun. Find a paywall on Patreon. Thanks to everybody that's there. All right. So let's get into this. Follow me here. Use your Notre Dame brain. Most of the blue and gold run up, spring football session, the focus is what's up with the quarterbacks. And at that time, through most of it, all of it, it was a three-man situation with people arguing cases for or against each of these three Notre Dame men. Now, you got some of the answers in the equation. You know it ain't going to be angelic. You're down to Carr and Minchey. It's official that we're going young. We're doubling down on that. We're committing to it. You're going to have a first-time start. Okay. Once that took place with Steve leaving, then it becomes Minchey or Carr. Carr or Minchey. 80 YouTube videos from everybody. Everybody's article, whatever. It's hot. It's the quarterback, man. I said it before. I'll say it again. The most important individual position in all of sports is your starting quarterback. Transcending sports, I think it's the most important individual position of all in any team sport. So justifiably, it then becomes Carr, Minchey or Carr. Here's the pluses with Carr. Here's the minuses. Here's the pluses with Minchey and the minuses. Whatever. Now that we're removed from the immediacy of spring ball and all this, and I've got some space from that, and yet some space until August camp to marinate in my brain. Dangerous, I know. Very dangerous. You got to start thinking of this as Carr and Minchey, or Minchey and Carr, I think. I think that's how we need to start thinking of it. Now, when I say that, your mind could go a few different places. One of them is a really dangerous place. One I don't think would be healthy for Notre Dame to be in. But when I say to you, don't think of Carr or Minchey, think of Carr and Minchey, or Minchey and Carr, however you want to do that, if that matters to you, how you number them. Here's the angle I'm not advocating for. Couple series, Carr gets to run the offense. A few more series, Minchey runs the offense. Then we go back to Carr, and then we go to Minchey again, and you get a series here, the Oprah thing, and you get a series, and you get a series. I don't want that. I don't advocate for that. I think you're asking for a circus that you don't need. Your every series is going to be debated by everybody. Who should get this series? Who should start? Who should come out of the half? Oh, it's fourth quarter crunch time. Who gets to run the offense? I don't think that kind of uncertainty and instability and constant questioning everything is going to help this team right now. That's not what I mean when I say Carr and Minchey. Here's what I mean. Is there a scenario where, let's say Carr runs out there to start the game against Miami? He's going to be your starter, okay? And if I had to put money on how this goes, that's where I'd put my money right now. So I don't know by how much, the percentage or whatever, but if you said, John, 10 grand, you got to bet on who's going to be the starter, I'd put it on Carr, okay? I'm not sure of that, but that's where I'm leaning more than the other way. Here's what I'm throwing out there. Is there going to be such a thing as a Minchey package utilizing his dual threat ability? Not that Carr is not a Jack Cohn statue back there, 2 Eiffel Towers stuck in the ground. He ain't that. But I think we could agree Minchey's built a little different and a little more nimble and natural at doing that. In that way, is there a scenario where Carr is your series-to-series game starter, but in maybe short down, 3rd and 4th and 1, or on the goal line, there's a Minchey package? I don't know the answer. I don't know if any of us know the answer. Is that on the table in certain spots or certain games? Like you're not going to go crazy with it, but certain games at certain spots, is that going to be a thing? You're able to keep the defense a little uncertain of exactly what's coming in those down and distances, and then you got to think, as a defense coordinator, you get an idea of what they're kind of doing with Carr, but then if Minchey comes in, does that same philosophy apply? Or do you got to think of things differently? Like, those are the kind of games I like a defense coordinator to have to worry about facing us. So that would be a way to keep the defense a little unsure and unbalanced, and keep both the quarterbacks involved where they're doing good things to move the team down the field and play winning football. Minchey diving over a pile for a first down or a touchdown, something like that in the red zone. Enough to keep him engaged and happy and keep the defense off balance, and everybody feels fulfilled, including me, right? Is this, you following me? And it's like, here's the extension of that. My brain starts moving, right? Say you do what I'm talking about, and Minchey has a little short down package or whatever, and it's on the goal line. That makes sense. But, like, what happens if it's on the opposition's 40 and it's 3rd and 1, and you bring Minchey in, and people start to see this week to week, and usually he gets it, barrels forward, or they do a little rollout with a couple blockers, and he can pick which way, whatever. Great. That becomes what people are used to from Minchey. What happens that time? It's 3rd and a half yard. Everybody thinks he's barreling in for a first down. He fakes it, tucks that ball, rolls out, and it's great house wide open over the middle for a touchdown. Suddenly you got to go, oh, crap. I got to worry about whatever Carr's natural abilities could do. I got to worry about Minchey running the ball. and I got to worry about Minchey burning us deep. Now you're really causing some big league problems for a defensive coordinator trying to worry about all of those options. You got to pick your spots with this. Be smart about it. But the final, the self-actualization at the top of this pyramid is Minchey usually runs it out of whatever that looks like. He fakes it, burns somebody. Boom. That's where I want this to get. Again, you can't get wild with this. You can't overdo this. You can't get cute with this to where it creates a quarterback controversy. Like, if you decide early in camp, Carr's your starter, you got to stick to that. As long as he's developing, stick to that. I'm not asking for enough of this that it creates constant debate, series to series, who should be out there. I'm going to lose my mind. I don't think that's good for anybody or the program. So I'm not asking for it to that level. But I like that short yardage thing. Keep everybody involved. Carr leads you down the field. You love that. Minchey punches it in. Everybody contributed to the winning cause. No names on the back of the jersey for a reason. We're all contributing to that drive. And you're messing with that D coordinator's head. And the cherry on top is that fake into the pile, roll out, burn somebody deep on a post, right over the top. Defense is all sold out on run. You catch them. They go for the fake. Oh, I'm envisioning it in my head now, and it's pretty. It's pretty. Now, here's the second reason I like this approach. Quarterbacks get hurt. Quarterbacks get hurt. Look no further than Tyler Buckner. Maybe move it back in the quarterback room after quite the journey. What a bad break it was for him and, quite honestly, Marcus Freeman. Welcome to Notre Dame. All the pressure in the world's put on you. You know, and you got a first-time starter you're rolling the dice with for all that pressure, and then he gets hurt halfway through the second game, and your whole season screwed up since then. Had to be frustrating. You want to make a good first impression, blah, 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 all this stuff. You don't last a game, 2 full games with your starter. And even if you did, the guy was a first-time starter, and there were going to be concerns with that. Guys get injured. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world that if Carr's your starter and somebody rolls on his ankle one week, that the guy coming in behind him has some experience. A little bit. This may be a spot where you're like, well, then I wish Angeli stayed because he checks that box, but he ain't here. That's no longer an option. So to me, I mean, it may help that Minchey's out there during competitive game time a little bit so that if Carr needs a week for something, that guy's not going in cold. He's used to carrying the ball, working with the O-line, has some good things in his mind for getting first downs and short yardage or barreling in for a touchdown, whatever. Injuries happen. So wouldn't it be the end of the world to have that guy ready to go with a little playing time? Now, I guess one thing you could argue, and I honestly don't know the right way to think about this. If Carr's the starter, are you trying to maintain eligibility on Minchey by not playing him in as many games or snaps as that level is? What is it, 4 games, certain level of snaps or something to count as a year? Does that become a concern? Or if you go with Carr as your main guy, does that timeline on Minchey no longer really matter anymore? I don't know the answer to that, if that's a pushback to this. And again, you cannot overdo this. You're going to complicate things and turn it into a circus. And I'm not advocating for that at all. But in the spots I mentioned, I wonder if there's a play sheet for that. It's a win across the board. Everybody's involved. Everybody's building momentum, getting experience. Defense doesn't know what to expect. Cherry on top, fake Minchey run, roll out, touchdown. Oh, I see it in my mind already, and I like it. And then the injury thing, I don't know. So I'm starting to think of this as Carr and Minchey, Minchey and Carr, and figuring out a way to maximize both without complicating and creating drama. What do you guys think about this? Or is this me overthinking it because it's May? You let me know, and we'll talk about it on the next live show. Don't forget to check out the merchandise. The link is in the description. You can browse and carouse all the different Always Irish gear. Make sure you head over there and get something for the next tailgate. Thanks for being here.